En este video podrás ver cómo dos senadores estadounidenses interrogan a una tía quien es la cabeza de la Oficina de Diversidad, Equidad e Inclusión de Estados Unidos, cuyas siglas son DEI. Se le cuestionó en cuanto a ciertas citas, en las que ella comentó que para tener un puesto laboral de alto rango en el gobierno estadounidense, se debe primero seleccionar los grupos por diversidad, creo que ya me entiendes a qué me refiero con diversidad, y que posteriormente se debía ver, en segundo lugar, el mérito de las personas. Mira el video completo y dime qué opinas. Pero antes, si este tipo de contenido te gusta, suscríbete a nuestro canal. Tenemos la meta a mediano plazo de llegar a los 100,000 suscriptores. Sin mayor dilación, comencemos.
I'm just going to start by responding to my colleague, who's somebody that I thank. I thank you for your service. If I can speak to you directly, I thank you for your service. Very proud to call you a brother in arms. But as I observe our units, we both served in diverse units in the military, but it was never by demand. And that is the argument that I'm bringing up here as we talk about service in the State Department or the military or anywhere else. There are no quotas over qualification. We didn't need an African American or an Asian or a white sniper or bomb tech or canine handler. It was just simply who raised their hand, volunteered, proved that they had what they needed to make it and be effective in that role, and pursued it and reached their goal. That's what it was all about. And to give the appearance at any time that it is anything other than that, that is un-American, and that is the problem I have with the appearance that this office is giving. I'll ask a couple of questions here. Is baldness, somebody that looks like me, does that make you a better diplomat, ma'am? I think I know the answer, but.
Not that I know of.
It doesn't. If somebody's 5'8" like me or 6'3" like somebody else, does it make them a better diplomat?
No, I do not believe so.
Likewise, does being white make somebody a better diplomat?
No, I do not believe so.
African American?
No, I do not believe so.
Asian or Islander?
Any specific group?
Native American? It doesn't. I would ask this. Can you tell me, am I white?
I would allow you to tell me how you characterize yourself.
That's exactly right. I would have to tell you not just how I characterize myself, but what I am. But I'm asking, do you know if I'm white?
I do not know.
Half black?
I do not know.
Asian, Islander?
Do not know.
Brown? Latino?
I do not know.
You can't know. You can't know without asking somebody to disclose what they are. And we can't ask what somebody is, and it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter that I'm half Mexican. It shouldn't matter whether I'm able-bodied or ambulatory or not ambulatory. That doesn't have anything to do with what my background is, that I served in these operations in the military, that I gained these skills, that I studied this in school, that I proved that I could pass whatever tests under stress and duress and be effective in the field under situations that foreign service officers might encounter, like the withdrawal of Afghanistan, the enemy at the gates, people being targeted, trying to deal with countless number of SIVs coming in. That has nothing to do with how somebody looks. It has to do with, did they volunteer to do this? Do they have the skills to do this? Did we test them to make sure they had the skills to do this? Do we hire hard and have the ability to manage a little bit easier? And that's the problem with what I see with what's taking place here. I'd ask you another question. Can you tell me what best looks like?
I'm not sure I'm fully understanding what you're getting at.
What does the best candidate look like?
Yeah.
The best FSO officer, we'll use that, the best foreign service officer. What does the best look like?
I would say the best for the particular job can look like any one of us, and that is the American way. That's what we support.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So in that, we can't have it be that first we look for a diverse basket of candidates, as is your quote, and then after we look for the diverse basket, then we check the merit of that. The diversity can't be the number one. I want a diverse workforce. I'm glad that I served with a diverse force in the military, diverse colleagues as members of Congress, but that can't be the number one filter, because it does create an inherent bias, an inherent quota system, where people look at it and say, well, I wasn't this. I didn't have the right religion or color or what they were looking for. So I didn't make that diverse basket number one, as you said, that it has to be that. They better bring you a diverse panel. My time has expired. Mr. Waltz for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I, too, like my colleague, I don't even know where to begin from a different perspective here. Ma'am, I represent one of the poorest counties in Florida. It's predominantly white. There are whole swaths that are rural, little access to internet, little access to broadband. The only county that actually declined in terms of its median income over time, and much like other counties in Middle America that have been gutted by the loss of manufacturing, that have been overrun with fentanyl, that have an opioid crisis. Are these constituents of mine privileged? It's a primarily Caucasian, I guess, county. Are they privileged
I certainly
systemically?
can't speak to individuals in your
Because I have to
district.
tell you, I think where you see the pushback coming here is that people being told that they're privileged because of their skin color or because of, I guess, their ancestry from hundreds of years ago came from Europe. They don't even know. I don't even know where my ancestors came from, but am I white, as the chairman asked? You don't know, right? We have to self-identify.
You have to
All right?
self-identify.
So I think the issue is multifold. One, we're historically a country of merit. And to hold people or to provide additional resources to one group based on a skin color because of things that have happened in the past and not to another, it's a zero sum in terms of resources. So are we excluding others because of their skin color or sexual orientation or what have you, and providing those resources to other as just an underlying philosophy in your office?
Thank you for the question. No, I will absolutely agree that we are a country where our ideal has been merit. But we have many, many examples of where that's not been the case. That is not the case.
Are we systemically a racist country? Is there systemic racism in the State Department? We'll just keep it within your purview.
We certainly have policies, processes, and procedures that we have to take a hard look at to ensure that that is not the case. I will give you an example, if
sure.
I may.
Quickly, though, please.
Yes, we have changed how we do our selection of one of the most important senior positions in the department, Deputy Assistant Secretary, which is senior, an ambassador comes back to that position, someone goes from that position to be an ambassador. Until the creation of our office, where we could have a look at and review the processes, those positions were not advertised. They were not competed. You had to be in the know or known and liked by someone to have even the knowledge.
Okay,
The
so we're going to
position
compete the
was-
position. Got it.
Right, but I'm
Great.
just, oh,
What does that have to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion?
because the people who traditionally have been in the know
Yeah.
are largely from a single group. It's
What group?
knowledge. According to the numbers from GAO and our own demographic baseline, the majority of senior positions in the Department of State, over 80%, are held by European Americans. Over 50% are held by men.
Am I a European American?
Is your heritage from Europe?
What's that? I actually don't know.
Okay, then I can't answer that.
I actually don't know. I can tell you that I married into a Middle Eastern family. My son is half Arab. What box does he check for your office?
So we have expanded the options for self-identifying in the Department of State. There are now 16 options that include a Middle East, North African option. So if your son comes to work for the Department of State, he can identify that way.
So I think we're going to continue to proliferate boxes, right, as we continue to have a interracial country. I mean, we're the melting pot.
As you know, identifying Americans has been done from almost the very beginning of our nation, since 1790.
I know at some point it has to, at some point, I don't know when it stops.
Yeah.
When are we there?
Well, I think when we get our level playing field, when people are not making decisions on what we
I don't know
look
that
like or
we'll-
what our background is,
I yield
we'll
my
be
time.
fine.
Gentleman's time has expired.
Estos temas de diversidad, equidad e inclusión pueden considerarse subjetivos, porque la interpretación y la aplicación de estos términos dependen en gran medida de las percepciones y experiencias de las personas involucradas. Las organizaciones y las personas pueden tener diferentes entendimientos y definiciones de lo que constituye la diversidad, la equidad y la inclusión y cómo se deben abordar estos temas, por ejemplo, en centros de trabajo. La diversidad se refiere a la variedad de experiencias, antecedentes, identidades y culturas que se encuentran dentro de un grupo, organización o sociedad. Puede incluir raza, etnia, edad, orientación sexual, religión, discapacidad, estado socioeconómico y otros factores. La equidad se refiere a la justicia y la imparcialidad en las oportunidades y los resultados. Implica garantizar que todas las personas tengan acceso a los mismos recursos y oportunidades y que los procesos y políticas no favorezcan a ciertos grupos sobre otros. La inclusión, por otro lado, se refiere a la creación de un ambiente en el que todas las personas se sientan valoradas, respetadas y apoyadas. Implica promover la participación activa y la contribución de todas las personas, independientemente de su identidad o antecedentes, y fomentar un sentido de pertenencia. La subjetividad en estos puntos puede surgir cuando diferentes personas o grupos tienen puntos de vista diferentes sobre cómo se deben abordar estos temas, o si hay desacuerdo sobre si ciertas políticas, prácticas o acciones son verdaderamente inclusivas y equitativas. Además, las culturas organizacionales pueden tener expectativas y normas sociales que pueden influir en cómo se perciben y abordan estos temas dentro de una organización. Los supuestos esfuerzos por promover la diversidad, la equidad y la inclusión pueden socavar la meritocracia y el mérito individual, ya que se puede enfocar en la identidad o afiliación de grupo en lugar de en las habilidades y logros profesionales. Asimismo, ocurre que, para promover la diversidad, la equidad y la inclusión en un lugar de trabajo, por ejemplo, se pueden restringir la libertad de expresión y el discurso, ya que se puede considerar ciertas opiniones y puntos de vista como no inclusivos o inapropiados. Esto también puede llevar a la polarización y la división, ya que se pueden percibir como favorecedores de ciertos grupos en detrimento de otros. Esto se está convirtiendo en una discriminación positiva, si es que se podría decir de esa manera. La contratación preferencial para ciertos grupos minoritarios o subrepresentados son injustas o discriminatorias contra otros grupos. Los esfuerzos para promover la diversidad, la equidad y la inclusión pueden llevar a un mayor control gubernamental y a regulaciones excesivas en el lugar de trabajo. Estos supuestos esfuerzos para promover la diversidad, la equidad y la inclusión pueden ser costosos y difíciles de implementar, especialmente si requieren cambios significativos en la infraestructura, las políticas y las prácticas empresariales existentes. El promover la diversidad, la equidad y la inclusión al estilo PROGRE puede afectar negativamente la productividad de una organización si los empleados pasan tiempo participando en actividades de capacitación o sensibilización en lugar de trabajar en sus tareas asignadas. Asimismo, la implementación de ciertas políticas de inclusión como la la contratación preferencial para ciertos grupos puede llevar a una disminución de la calidad del personal contratado. La preferencia por contratar a alguien para un puesto laboral por ciertas características personales, como su raza, género, orientación sexual o religión, en lugar de sus habilidades, estudios y experiencia, es una práctica que puede ser discriminatoria y viola las leyes de igualdad de oportunidades en el empleo. Este tipo de preferencias, conocidas como discriminación basada en el prejuicio, perpetúan desigualdades y fomentan la exclusión. La igualdad de oportunidades en el empleo es un principio fundamental en muchas sociedades y es un derecho protegido por la ley. La preferencia por contratar a alguien por ciertas características personales en lugar de sus habilidades y méritos va en contra de este principio y puede ser discriminatoria. La preferencia por contratar a alguien por ciertas características personales puede no ser equitativa y puede favorecer a ciertos grupos en detrimento de otros. La equidad en el empleo se refiere a tratar a todas las personas con justicia y sin prejuicios independientemente de su identidad o antecedentes. La preferencia por contratar a alguien por ciertas características personales en lugar de sus habilidades y méritos puede resultar en la contratación de personas que no son necesariamente las más calificadas o competentes para el trabajo. Asimismo, puede perpetuar estereotipos y prejuicios sobre ciertos grupos y puede dificultar el avance y la igualdad de oportunidades para estas personas. También puede resultar en la falta de diversidad de pensamiento y experiencias en el lugar de trabajo, lo que puede limitar la innovación y la creatividad. ¿Y tú qué opinas? Déjamelo saber en los comentarios. Y aquí culmina este video. Si te gustó, dale like, comenta el video y compártelo. Gracias, hasta luego.